Alright, so we're gonna be doing a new video today. A little different, I'd say. I'm gonna do a story time about something real personal, to myself. Before I get into it, I want y'all to like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Go hit that like button, go hit that subscribe button. We can get pushed in this algorithm, man. I appreciate y'all another day. Um, Alright, so I'm gonna be talking about a day that's real personal to me. I've never really spoken about it publicly like this at all. Obviously, like in person, like interpersonal, like friends, family, obviously, things like that. But I consider y'all my family now, so um me talking about like the day I got shot and like the timeline in a sense, like what happened, that day. And even like subsequent things kind of like after that, because that did happen, and then like other things like happen um after the fact, days, some even weeks. But yeah, I'm gonna be giving y'all a story today. We can call it episode 1. And honestly, before we even get into all of that, I'm gonna kind of just give y'all just not too much of a backstory, but just like a real small backstory. So yeah, so high school, play basketball. I would definitely say that playing sports, I played football, basketball, I ran a little bit of track. I started running track to like my freshman, sophomore year, something like that. But then I played football to my sophomore and junior year, and then I played basketball all the way into college. So like I'm saying, so even playing in high school, it kept me out of the streets. I could definitely 100% say that. But as I got older, like, okay, so when I graduated high school, I went to a university to play basketball. But just it didn't really work out. I kind of felt like it wasn't the right fit in a sense. So after I was redshirting, so after that semester, I was like, I went back home. I was like, I'm gonna just go to a JUCO, take classes. Went to a JUCO to take classes, and then I found the school that was like found the junior college that was like, yeah, we want you to come play with us. So I moved, um, went over there. What's crazy is my boys and them, they was living in that area at the time. So when I moved, my boys was already living over there. So I moved over there with them, and then the season was looking real good. I was playing well. Um, going up into the season, like practicing everything was going good. I really liked this. It's not that I really liked the school. I liked the team. I was like, I felt really good. I was playing good at the time. And I was like, man, if I play 2 years here, I believe I'll be able to go to a Division 1, like a lower Division 1, and if anything, a good Division 2. So I was like, you know what, let's do it for sure. But I would say at that time, my boys and my boys, they started making music. And at that time, I started thinking about creating a business. So I created at that time, I was starting I figured out a name, what I wanted to call my brand. So I kind of was starting a business at the time. And then I just fast forward in a little bit. Yeah, so we ended up starting the label and then the clothing brand. So it's called Golden Circle Clothing, Golden Circle Entertainment. So that's what we called it. And unfortunately, during that time, um, I would say I was starting to get sidetracked. I really wanted to be all in with basketball, but just, if you're around people and they doing certain things, and at that time, like, that's when, they wasn't playing sports. So, honestly, I was right with them when we started, getting into the streets a lot more, lot more, unfortunately, like it's not like I was like, this is what I wanted to do. Even before the season had started, honestly, we was, getting into different things. I'm not gonna speak on, anything like that of the specifics, but I'm gonna just say that's kind of like when it started in a sense, like, so unfortunately my grades started dropping. Um, I was still going to practice. I was still playing. Like I said, I was playing really well. That's kind of I would honestly say that was the worst part for me because I was playing really good basketball, but just getting really sidetracked with whole other things. Like I said, that was when I really start getting into the streets and things like that. So um, yeah, after that, so the semester came, grades dropped. My grades wasn't there. I didn't have grades, so technically I got grade drop. But if I really wanted to, I could have had my coach talk to the teachers, and I could have, fixed some things up, and I could have still played the season. But like I said, I was already sidetracked into what they were doing because I was doing it too already, in a sense. Not even in a sense, I was doing it. So um, once my grades got dropped, like the coaches talked to me, and they was like, we really want you to keep playing, but they told me like we can try to help you out. But honestly, I was just like, I'm done. Like I was like, I'm done. I'm not even gonna play basketball no more. I'm not gonna go to school no more. And at that point, there's really nothing they could tell me. They told me like, we really don't think you should do that. You have a lot of potential. But I was just like, nah, I'm done. Like, I just at that time, just being young, and not really having that right sense of guidance. Like my pop passed away when I was 14, so I never really had that male role model in a sense that was like, would be able to tell me like, no, that's the wrong decision. You need to correct yourself. You need to do this. So I never really had that in a sense. I had my mom. She gonna support anything I say. In a sense, like it's not bad. I was like, I want to start a business, this and that. She was like, hey, that's not a bad idea. She couldn't really like tell me like, no, this is what you need to do. You know, so that ended up happening. Now I'm just focusing on the business, starting the businesses, and just getting into the streets a lot more. Like I said, so backtrack a little bit. I was born in LA. Grew up in different places, Compton, like I said, LA, Inglewood, moved to the IE2. Um, so that's just a little background of where I'm from. After that, I was like, you know what? There's really no reason for me to stay here. I ended up moving. Um, but when I moved, my boys, they ended up moving too because where we was at, I was going to school in Palm Springs. That's where the college was. The junior college was somewhere in that area. So we ended up moving back to like SoCal. Um, and then things kind of just started rolling, from that point on, really started getting into the music for real. And then I ended up launching the clothing brand a little later. So that was kind of like an intro background. I know it was a little long, but I can't really get into everything without y'all knowing the backstory. So yeah, if I'm gonna be quite honest with y'all, bro, I was into the streets, full fledged, bro. At that time, the mindset, just being like I said, being real young, um, not really caring about much, just to be completely honest. I did have the businesses, and that was a good side of me. That I wanted to be a businessman, but honestly, besides that, I was like we were all just knee deep into the streets at the time. Um, so at that time, we had a studio in LA. Studio was like in East LA. Started the day, got ready, and I was like, you know what? I just had dropped some new clothes. I was like, you know what? I need some models to model the clothes. I was like, you know what? I told this girl, she had a lot of followers at the time. She was a model, had a lot of followers and everything. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring you these clothes. You can take pictures in them. Do your whole thing. So she was like, all right, cool. Just drop them off. And the area, because I grew up in LA, so I was like, the area. I was like, you know. I knew what the area was. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, I kind of shouldn't have been over there. I'm not gonna lie to you, but just being young, bro, I didn't really, I didn't care at that time. I'm gonna just be honest. I didn't really care about much. I truly didn't care about much. I have no criminal record, but I did go to jail a few times when I was younger. I have no criminal record. I always beat any case I had. Thank God. But at that time, bro, I just, I didn't have a care in the world. So I went to the Slauson. I was like, you know what? I want to give me a hat, a few little things. So I went to the Slauson. If y'all don't know, the Slauson swap meet is in South Central. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run to the Slauson, grab me a few things. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go over there, go drop off the clothes. And then I had to go do something else too. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go do that after I do all that. So Went to the Slauson, grabbed me. Well, I had grabbed like a few. I grabbed like 2 hats or something. I don't know, like some t-shirt. I don't know what I just know I grabbed me a few hats. That's all I remember. So I grabbed them hats, and then I shot over there to go drop the clothes off to old girl. So I ain't gonna lie, when I got there, I was just like, you know what? Um, I don't know, like it wasn't her, but like it was just something, like I don't know, it was just something that I was feeling. I was like, you know what? I don't know. But like I said, at that time I didn't care, I was living that type of life. So, I was never afraid of anything. I always had protection on me. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, so I was like, you know what? So she comes to the car, we chilling at that time. I used to smoke, so I think I was smoking. We just chopping it up, and then she was like, "Yeah, I want to see the clothes." So at that time, I had the clothes in my trunk. So I had went to the trunk. I'm grabbing the clothes, and then a car like pulls up. So I'm parked like right. I'm parked like north in a sense. Like the street is right here though. So I'm right in front of the street. So I go to the trunk, and a car pulls up right behind me. Ask me, you from LA, you pretty much gonna know what they asked me. So they asked me a few questions. Um, I answered back, whatever the case may be. Woo, 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 woo. They asked me some questions. I answered it back. I'm not gonna get into specifics of what they asked me. I'm just not gonna do that. But so I answered back, whatever the case may be. So they drove off. I was just real weary. I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna be honest too. In LA, you don't really want, especially in like South Central, you don't really like. It just depends. In places in LA, like you don't really want to sit in cars, especially not in South Central. You don't really want to be sitting in cars. Um, but yeah, I went back to my car. I was telling her like, yeah, I didn't really like that encounter. Um, I'm like, I'm probably finna get up out of here, you know. She was like, cool, whatever the case may be. Like I said, I put the wood out. I think I had grabbed it again. I'm telling her like, yeah, those the clothes is good, but that interaction, that kind of just like, I kind of know how it gets. So she was like, all right, cool, and it all happened so fast. A car pulls up, like they pull up fast, like super fast. Skirt. Like I said, my car's like this. They pull up just like that. So, dude, I don't know, whatever, hops out the right side of the car. Like I said, I don't even care. Like, so he's shooting at me. And then the girl, when the shots start flying inside the car, the girl bounces out and runs. So I don't know if she got shot or not, in all honesty. I'm not even worried about her. Like, I'm just focusing on me. I'm ducking, whatever the case may be. And then it happens so fast. Like that stuff, it happens super quick, especially adrenaline running. So everything slows down. Um, so by the time I'm up, like by the time I bounce back up, um, the car is gone. So I just pull off, and it's like five, but it's like 5 or something. It's like 5 o'clock around there. Um, so I mean, it's traffic. It's traffic. So I pull off, skirt, and I don't even know I'm shot, bro, because you're adrenaline running, you don't really feel nothing. So as I'm driving, I'm usually left hand dominant, so I usually use my left hand more often than I use my right hand. So I'm driving my right hand, and unconsciously, I'm like, or consciously, excuse me, I'm thinking like, why am I driving with my right hand? I'll never drive with my right hand for real. So I hit a corner, and then I hit another corner, and then by the time before I hit that third corner to like just, I'm not gonna say the street I was on, but to like go towards the freeway, I look down and I just see blood. So I'm like, damn. I'm just like, okay. I really can't believe it because I'm like, how the hell? I'm like, I got shot. That's crazy. Never me. That's what you think. Like, I'm like, how the hell I get shot? shots was flying. I'm still like, what the hell? How'd I get shot? Because I really, I really didn't know. So by the time getting towards the freeway, I'm starting to make calls. I don't even know how I'm making calls. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. So I'm on right when I get on or right when I'm getting onto the freeway. Like I said, bro, it's LA. It's dumb traffic. It's like fog. The traffic is bad. So I hop on the freeway. I called a homie like, hey, bro. Like I said, that we had a studio in LA too. So I wasn't too far from the studio, but I wasn't super close. It's traffic. I'm like, bro, I was like, hey, fool, I just got shot. Like it was normal. I don't know why, but I was pretty calm for a minute. I was like, hey, fool, I got shot. He was like, what? He was like, what do you? I don't really want to cuss because I don't want YouTube to flag me or nothing like that. But he was like, what? He was like, you got shot. I'm like, yeah, bro, for real. He like, where you going? I'm like, man, I'm pulling up to the studio. He like, what the hell? I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, you call the ambulance. Like, I'm coming right now. He was like, all right, I hung up. I called somebody. I don't even know. I called somebody else. Um, I'm like, hey, man, I just got shot right now. What the, whatever. Ooh, ooh. Like, what the hell? What you mean you just got shot? I'm like, bro, I just got shot right now. Like, this shit is crazy. This is crazy. I'm like, I just got shot right now. This is crazy. Um, so I put my phone down. I hung up on them. It was a short call. I just got shot. I'm like, hey, I forgot what I said. I told him something. I hung up, but now I'm on the freeway. And it's so much traffic. I'm like, the lanes, they got like 5 lanes. I'm on the outside of the lane where like you pull over if like you got into an accident or something. So, and I'm doing a dash. I'm doing like 121. I'm literally doing like 120, 140 on the freeway. So at this point, like, I'm just praying I don't crash because if I crash, it's bad because I'm already losing a lot of blood. Because I got shot. I got shot in my. You can probably see it. Let me see. You can kind of see it. I shot in my hand and my wrist, so in my stomach too. Um, so I'm on the side doing the dash, but you feel me? I really don't want to crash because if I crash, at that point it could be really bad for me. Um, so I'm just praying I don't crash, bro. I'm just doing the dash. Boom. So as I get closer, because I never called 911 myself. Like I said, I called my bro and I told him I was going to the studio. So I'm driving myself there, bleeding. I'm bleeding a lot too, low key. There was a ton of blood. So yeah, I'm driving towards the studio. My bro called me back. He like, hey, if you got anything on you, he's like, you gotta throw it out. Like you gotta throw it out because police is gonna be everywhere. I'm like, all right, bet. So whatever the case may be, boom, boom. Um, I'm getting off the freeway, but when I'm getting off the freeway, it's so much traffic. It's so much traffic. So I'm trying to maneuver, but it's so many cars that I just can't. So I'm kind of like stuck in traffic. And finally I'm getting off, and it took a few minutes like for me to get off, and I'm still like maneuvering, honking at cars, like cars is honking at me, but it was a car, it was a truck, and they seen me. And one of the dudes, he was like, hey, bro, because he seen like the bullet holes all through the car. He was like, hey, bro, you good? I'm like, nah, bro, call the ambulance. I'm shot. So I pull over because at this point, bro, I can't, like, it's so much going on. I don't want to start running lights, bro, and it's too much traffic. And at that point, I started getting a little like fatigued because I'm doing so much and I'm losing blood. So my energy like was crazy. So once I got up the freeway, my energy just started dipping badly. So like I kind of like I pulled over and I just like sitting in my car, eyes closed, like I'm just like damn, like I'm like my energy level is just getting lower and lower. I'm like damn, like I don't think I can make it to the studio. Like it's far, and it's like I said, it was way too much traffic. Um, so what happened was the car. I was on the phone with my bro. I told him like I told him the street I was on. I was like, I think I told them the street I was on. I didn't tell them actually. The people, like I said, they was in the truck. They pulled over too, and one of them came to the car. Like two of them came to the car. You know, um, they had grabbed my phone for me, and they was talking to my boy that I was on the phone with. We had stayed on the phone. Because he was like, I'm gonna stay on the phone with you, bro. So you don't, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you're good, you know. Um, so I pull over, like I said, they come and help me. And I say about a few minutes later, LAPD pulls up, boom. So when LAPD pull up, if you know LAPD is foul, you know, LAPD code. So um, LAPD pull up, guns out, you know, obviously the car shut up, so they gonna pull out with their guns out. They pull out guns out. Hey, where's the gun? Where's the gun? Um, you know, they're not even focused on me at all. Like, I mean, they focused on me, but they're not trying to help me at all. Like LAPD, they're not gonna really help you. They don't really care. They're like, where the gun? They moving me. Like they're literally moving me around. I'm like, man, I'm sitting in my car, like, bro, I can't really move. Like, I'm shy. Like, what y'all expect me to do? They're like, where the gun? Where the gun? They just searching my car, literally, like I'm saying, like it's one of them just standing right there while all the rest of them searching my car. They're like, we know you got a gun in here. Where your gun at? Where your gun at? Nothing. Like I said, they're not trying to help me whatsoever. Um, I just hear one of them say, yeah, we got. I didn't hear him say we have a victim. I thought I got shot more because it was like we got a victim of multiple gunshot wounds. He's bleeding. Like so, you know, I'm thinking it's like, I mean, obviously getting shot is bad. I got shot 3 times, but I'm thinking I got shot more than that too because how they're saying it, like they're like we got a victim here with multiple gunshot wounds. So I'm like, damn, like I probably got shot more places than I even know if they saying it like that. So I would say a few minutes later, the ambulance pulls up. I'm like, thank you. Ambulance finally pulled up. Um, so when the ambulance pull up, you know, if you get shot, they have to cut like most of your clothes off because you could have got shot more places than you know or you think. So, you know, they had to do that. They cut off most of my clothes, you know, start, you know, stopping the bleeding and everything. And honestly, we got to the high. Like I wasn't really like super conscious like that, but I just remember, you know, getting onto the stretcher and you know, like the paramedic people helping me out and you know, just asking me like, what's your name? Um, are you like stay conscious? You know, like those type of things. And then I just remember being in the back because I started kind of like dazing off, um, like in and out of consciousness in a sense. And I just remember getting to the hospital quick, like like we got to the hospital fast. I'm like, damn, like we really got. I don't know how I was really thinking. I mean, like after I'm thinking like, damn, we got to the hospital quick. So we get to the hospital, you know, take me upstairs. Um, they really stopped the bleeding, and then they getting there. I'm getting all set up for surgery because getting surgery pretty quick. Um, so yeah, after I got surgery, I'm getting calls. What's crazy is I'm gonna get into this in a minute. My brother DT, I got it right here. Long live DT tomorrow. Um, he had called me. He was the first person to call me too. He was like, "Hey, bro, you heard what happened? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you good? You know, like you good, man?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm straight, man." He was like, "You good for real? Like, you know, I know that's crazy." I can't believe that happened. Like, yeah, bro, I'm straight, man. I got surgery. So I got surgery the same night. I don't know what time I got there. I would say around, it all happened around 5-ish. So I would say I got there like six, somewhere around there. Ended up getting surgery that night. I probably left at like I left at like 2 in the morning or something. So I got surgery, you know, cast me up, patched me up and everything. Then they sent me home. You know, they sent me home. Got my medications and everything. They sent me home. So yeah, DT was the only person that had called me from the hotel too. I mean, from the hotel, from the hospital. So you know, I go back home. You know, and my homies is there. Like two of my homies is there. Um, you know, just you know, when you get shot, you survive. You know, they just gassing me up. like, damn, bro, you a soldier, this, and that. Um, and what's crazy is, I think like a day later, like really just thinking about it is crazy because we was living so wild. Like a day later, I posted some pictures on Instagram trolling like the people who shot me, which is crazy to think about. Um, that's definitely not good. I mean, now that I am the person that I am now, I'm like, that's not like that's just dumb. Like that's just being ignorant. I was trolling. Just I posted some pictures trolling, saying some stuff. I'm not gonna repeat what I said, but I'm just like, damn, like just thinking about it, how much I really didn't care at the time about nothing. Um, what really shook me up was like a month later, or like not even a month later, excuse me, 2 weeks later. It was like 2 weeks later. Um, two of my homies got shot. Then one of them being DT. So I remember we got the news. And what's crazy is so that day I had went to the hospital. I had to go get like a 2 week checkup. I went to the hospital. They had repatched me. They're telling me about like rehab and everything like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. I start rehabbing a minute for my hand and everything. Um, so later that day, back at home, chilling, I get a call. I don't even remember who called me, bro. I just couldn't believe it. It was like, hey, bro, DT and so and so got shot. I'm not gonna say my other boy name who got shot at the time. I'm like, nah, like you lying. I'm like, nah, because I'm saying, I just got shot 2 weeks prior to that. So like speaking about like rewinding a little bit, when I got shot, I was super paranoid, like super paranoid, bro. Um, and even like I remember like 2 days after I got shot, I was with a female and I was with my girl and we were arguing or something. I don't know, something we was arguing. Um, I had that's the only time I ever had an anxiety attack. I had an anxiety attack, like I said, just from just being super anxious, being paranoid. Like after something like that happens, like I said, I was paranoid. I was just trying to make sure I was always good, watching my surroundings. And I was still on that type of time, so I'm just like, I'm paranoid. I'm just trying to watch everything. I'm still outside. I'm trying to figure out little stuff. I'm not gonna get into that, but so I'm paranoid. But like 2 days later, I had an anxiety attack, bro, and I couldn't breathe. Like that ain't never happened to me before. But I had an anxiety attack, and I had to go to the hospital, and they had to give me medication to like, kind of like relieve all that pressure that I was feeling. Like that, like I said, I was super anxious, so I ended up having an anxiety attack, bro, and ended up having to call the ambulance, which is crazy because I was telling my girl I was like pull over, like I can't breathe, like that's the only anxiety attack I had, and I really couldn't like that's how I felt, like like just super anxious like that. I was like I can't breathe, like even when the ambulance got there, like I was like my breathing was like I was breathing all bad, like that's what I'm saying. It's just like just from like just being super anxious and like I said, super paranoid, had me all messed up. But like 2 weeks later, like I said, my brothers and them had got shot. So, they didn't get shot. I was in LA and they was somewhere else. They was I'm not gonna say the city or nothing. They was in a different city. So, you know, and then at the time my car was in the shop and everything from what had happened. So I was like, damn, I can't even go over there, like to the hospital. Um, so a few hours later, everybody's praying like, we hope DT good. We hope my other boy good, but like we praying like DT, like at that time he was doing so good with his music. He was doing so good in life. Like he was doing great in life at the time. He was doing really well. He was doing amazing, man. And you know, I remember I got the call, bro, and it just broke me. It literally did. I'm not gonna lie, it broke me, man. Just like I said, that happened 2 weeks after I got shot, bro. So that really, really like that hurt me a lot. Um, and it kind of like changed my whole perspective on like obviously not at that time it didn't because for the subsequent years I was still living, but I knew like Um, I didn't even care when I got shot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was still like, like this is me. This is what it is. But after he got shot and he died, what made it even worse is like that broke me. It left me angry, like distraught. I was in a bad space for a long time. But the crazier thing is, so we found out he got shot at like 12, so it was technically the next day. So that day, it was just, just it was a bad day. It was a terrible day. But the following day after that, um, my apartment, bro, got raided. Like, I don't know. Like, I was being investigated. I didn't even know. Obviously, you're not gonna know that unless, like, yeah, you're not gonna know if you're being investigated. Um, so that day, I had my niece. I called my niece. I was like, hey, I didn't have no car. So, hey, can you come pick me up, take me over here? So, um, I get pulled over. This is so crazy because all of this happened in such a short span. I get pulled over with my niece in the car. Um, and it was weird because I seen these police. I was tripping. Like, I seen these police, but like, they didn't have on police uniforms. They was detectives. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, at this point, like, I'm thinking crazy because, like I said, I was in the street. So I'm praying it's not like something like, I'm praying it's not something else. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like at this point, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Obviously they take me to jail. They found something in the car. They took me and my niece to jail. Obviously they didn't really charge her with nothing, but they did take her to jail, gave her some type of charge. I forgot. I went to jail. I'm in jail, and my boy that was living in the apartment, I hear a voice. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, hey, bro, is this you? I'm like, hey, that's you. He like, yeah, bro. He was like, they raided the apartment. I'm like, nah. I'm like, you lying. They send him into a block, like the next little jail block over. They're like, hey, bro. He's like, hey, bro. He's like, bro, they raided the apartment. He's like, they tore everything up. Like he said, the places in shambles. He's like, they tore everything up. So I'm like, damn. He was like, yeah. They took the girl that I was with at the time. She was at the place. He's like, yeah, they took her to jail. He was like, his girl. He was like, yeah, they took her to jail. I'm like, damn. He was like, they found like, I'm not gonna obviously say what was in the place, but they found everything. He was like, bro, yeah, it's over. I'm like, damn. Like, in like a 2-week span from getting shot, like I said, my little brother died, and that was even worse than. I mean, of course, that was worse. Like I said, that's what really broke me. And like later on in my life, I'm like, bro, I can't live like this. Like I can't live in that cycle. You know, just going to jail. I'm like, I gotta figure something out. Like, but obviously, I'm not thinking that right then and there. I'm thinking that later in my life. But yeah. So after that, and then I had money at the house too. I had a decent amount of money at the house. So I'm praying. I'm praying that they didn't find it. So I get bailed out, like, because they had me on, like, I couldn't bail out. They had me on like some type of hold. So like damn near like a day later, I was finally able to bail out. I bailed out. Then I went home. And when I went home, it was bad. It was terrible. I mean, everything was just ransacked through the apartment. They tore the whole apartment down. So I'm going in my closet and I'm just looking for my money. Like, I'm just praying like I'm just praying like my money's there. Like, my money gotta be there. I can't go through all this and lose all my money. Like it's already bad enough. Like everything. I'm still in like little case, or I forgot what you would call it, but I'm in I got my arm like in the little thing. I'm still patched up. Like, like I said, my brother died a day and a half before all this. Like, like my emotions was all over the place. Like, it was like it wasn't real. Like, it was like it wasn't real. Like, I was like, this can't be happening. Like, somebody that you're close to, like, is really like my brother. So it's like when it hits you, like, I got shot and I wasn't even tripping. But my brother died. I was like, man, like, this ain't real. Like, this can't be real. But I went home and bro, they took everything, like all my money. I had like, cause I was finna. My niece was taking me to go get some weed, and I used to buy ounces, so I was finna. So my niece was taking me to go buy something, so I had like $200 in my wallet. That was all the money I had. Like I said, they took everything, bro. They ended up taking all my money. So after I was looking through all my clothes, and I found, bro, I was like, I put my money in here, put all my money in here, all my cash, and it wasn't there. I was just like, damn. I was like, damn, I, I lost everything. We lost the place. They was like, I gotta move. Like, we can't have that type of activity, in these places. Um, had to move. Um, like I said, really lost everything. And at that time, I was so young still. I'm just like, I went to go move with my sister, but like it was, it was just hard, man. Like, just going through all of that. Um, I was never able to process, everything. It took years. Like, even now, like, I still think about my little bro every day. Like, I never fully healed from, getting shot in my wrist, and still like immobile. Like, I don't have that full range of motion. Just going through all of that was just, it was definitely like, it was tough. It was tough. It was a learning lesson, but it's just like just losing somebody that close to you. And I've lost people, bro. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of people to gun violence. But being in the streets and from families like Big Mom, I'm not gonna get into it, but families in the streets, different hoods, um, like everybody, like it sounds crazy, but I like damn near everybody I know been shot before. Like, not everybody, obviously, but most people I know have been shot before, and some of them have survived, some of them haven't. But that was one of my first times losing somebody that was like you were damn near with every day. Like, being with this person every day, starting something with this person. And, when you lose somebody that you're with every day, and especially like that to be murdered, it changes your whole person. Like, it changes you. It unfortunately, it changes you as a person, and it changes the way you think. It changes the way how you go about life. Um, and especially me being shot too, because I'm like, man, I just got shot. How my love, I couldn't even be there at the house. How I felt like, damn, I wish I could have been there. Even shot, it don't matter. Like, I wish I could have been there for him. But you know, life goes on, and life works in weird ways. Um, life don't always go the way we want it, obviously. You know, certain things gonna teach you. So that taught me. That taught me a lot. Um, but yeah, man, I can't never take anything back. I appreciate everything that I've been through, right or wrong. It made me the person I am today, and it made me just kind of think. Later on, I realized, like, I don't want to be that person that just going through the same, because I know people, bro. I know people that got, like, I know people close to me in jail right now, murder charges, this type of charges, that type of charges. So I knew that if I just keep going on the route that I'm going, either I'm gonna be dead or I'm gonna be spending a lot of time in jail. And those are two things. Those are really the only. If you're really in the streets and you're doing crimes, bro, it's not a lot of options. It's not a lot. I mean, it may be fun during this time, it may be this, it may be that, but like, you know, it ain't much options. And I know people, like, most people I know today, they still living that type of life. I can't judge it, bro. I can't judge nobody, but I just know that's not what I wanted to be doing for the rest of my life. I'm like, you know what? few years after that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back in school. Like still got my businesses to this day, but it's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to school, get a degree. You know, got a son now, so it's like I can't be, I'm thinking for the future. I can't just be, you know, just living my life for the now. Like, so that's why I'm glad, I switched up, started eating better, got my health together, stopped doing like drugs and, you know, stopped doing different things like that. So I cleaned myself up in all honesty. I can't say I'm perfect or anything like that, but I know that I wanted to be doing something that 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 I could show my son, that I could feel proud of, that that I can make money in a legal way, or I don't have to be doing all these illegal things, have to be looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life, whatever the case may be. Like I said, I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but I just know that I couldn't live like that for the rest of my life because it's not many options. So I just wanted to give y'all that story. It was a lot longer than what I thought it was going to be because I ended up getting deeper than I ever thought that I was going to get. Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, this is a different episode, really getting into my past and, who I was and, who I'm becoming is. All right, man, I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Like, subscribe, share, comment, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. I know this was a different little video, but I just never spoke up on that, and it kind of felt good to be able to like release something. So I really don't really talk like that, but just opening up felt different for sure. It definitely felt different. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody. If you watch this video, I appreciate you for staying, because I know this was kind of a longer video than I would like to do, in all honesty. But I mean, if you want to learn more about me, then I feel like this was a pretty good video. Appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Like I said, like, subscribe, share. Appreciate everybody for logging in, man. P. Appreciate y'all. I know I got it on my. I had along with DT tomorrow. And I even named my son, because that was DT's middle name was Amaro. So I gave my son his middle name too. So my son's middle name is Amaro too. So not to pass that on. Yeah. So right here is DT. He got cremated. So some of us was able to get some of his remains right here. I always keep it right here with me.
Bitches, I be getting all the baddest. If it was up to me, I get a big paddock. We was posted on the block, he got his sheet snatched. Now we plotting on them niggas for the kickback. It's a cold summer, get your shit snatched. Pull up on me, we the ones that suck that. Niggas ain't ballin', we be ballin' like the Mavericks, yeah. Huck me in houses, we be running up their baggage, yeah. Fuck mad bitches, I be getting all the baddest.
Getting it in every day on God, working.